it comes to bodybuilding, few names resonate like Arnold's. Despite the arrogance and the charisma, it came from a very humble beginning. Way before the lights, the stage, the fame, the box office numbers, before the wealth, the prestige, the prominence, before all the political aspirations. Way before any of that, there was just a boy with a dream living in the slums of Austria. Born on July 30th, 1947, right after World War II, Arnold and his older brother Meinhard were raised by their parents in a town decimated by the war. This poverty would later fuel his success. Growing up, he had no plumbing, no electricity. Arnold had nothing except for a dream. Arnold's father, a former soldier and local police chief, ruled the household with an iron fist, sometimes to the point of abuse.
You made a pointed comment about your dad in your book. You said, quote, every time he hit me, every time he said my weight training was garbage, that I should do something useful and go out and chop wood, every time he disapproved of me or embarrassed me, it put fuel on the fire in my belly.
That's right. My father really contributed a lot to my hunger. And my father contributed for me to wanting to get away from Austria. That I felt like there was never really a compliment. It was always, you can do better. There was never, kind of like where he was supportive of my weight training or supportive of my ideas or of my craziness or of my dreams. But the positive is that is what gave me the fire.
Despite the adversity, Arnold pressed forward. In reality, his future looked bleak, but he knew he was meant for more.
But they showed the film and I saw a documentary about America. So the 6-lane highways, I saw the big Cadillacs, with the big fins sticking out, All of this stuff that did Hollywood. Austria is not the place. It was almost kind of like that my gene was over here.
While Arnold's peers were discussing pension plans and financial stability, Arnold was dreaming about being on a bodybuilding stage, just like his childhood idol Reg Park. And even though he was living like a peasant, he always visualized himself as a king. He developed this passion for bodybuilding at an early age. A young Arnold had high hopes. At the young age of 16, he started competing, and he won first place in several different competitions, including powerlifting championships. In one outing, a young Arnold bench pressed 363 pounds, squatted 374, and deadlifted 551. These victories gave him the confidence to push his talent even further. He saw bodybuilding as his way out of the slums, and his physique was his golden ticket. But he knew he could only go so far in Austria. He knew the real opportunities were in America. But in order to travel, he had to serve in the military first. So he did. In 1965, Arnold joined the Austrian army. While serving, he was noticed by a gym manager, Albert Busick. He saw Arnold's potential and offered him a job as a trainer in a gym in Munich. Arnold saw this opportunity as his way out of Austria. He took a leap of faith and left the military with nothing but the shirt on his back. And 2 years later, he made another leap. At just 21 years old, he moved to the United States to pursue the American dream. He planted himself in Los Angeles, California, and started training at the legendary Gold's Gym in Venice, where he quickly gained recognition in the bodybuilding community.
Hey, how are you doing? All right. Good. Big Mike. All right. Good. How are you doing?
Arnold's training was intense. He used high volume with a strong emphasis on the muscle-to-mind connection. Perhaps as impressive as his physique was his mindset. He didn't avoid the pain, he embraced it. He pushed himself through the pain and even beyond it. In the late 60s, Sergio Olive was the face of bodybuilding, a Cuban refugee with incredible genetics who many considered at that time to be unbeatable.
But Sergio Olive was on a whole nother planet. Nobody looked like, nobody could even think about looking like that.
Sergio Olive is the game changer because I think he showed that you can put mass where mass isn't supposed to be. I mean, he did it in Cuba, in the 60s. He did it at a time where it's not fashionable.
After winning several Mr. Universe titles, Arnold ended up on the biggest stage facing Sergio. Sergio defeated him and regained the Olympia title for the third consecutive year. But this loss didn't stop Arnold's vision, it refined it. Arnold reflects on this loss as a defining moment in his career, stating that success isn't the absence of failure, it's resilience in spite of it. In 1970, Arnold won his first Olympia title, dethroning Olive. Some consider this victory controversial, but nevertheless, Arnold would continue to dominate the competition, owning the 70s, winning the prestigious awards 7 times. Arnold was so focused on his goals he didn't have room for feelings. In 1971, his brother died at the age of 24 in a car accident, and just a year later his father passed away. But despite these tragedies, Arnold refused to feel emotions about these losses. He turned off anything that would distract him from his vision. Instead of mourning, he pressed forward. Arnold's charisma, along with his good looks and his massive physique, transcended the sport, bringing it to the mainstream.
Probably most everyone in the world knows Arnold Schwarzenegger. He has won, I guess, probably all the most prestigious bodybuilding awards. Would you welcome Arnold Schwarzenegger?
But Arnold's ambition didn't stop at bodybuilding. In the late 70s, he ventured into acting, facing skepticism due to his thick accent and lack of acting talent. Undeterred, he landed his first big role in the comedy fantasy film Hercules in New York.
I do not have any money.
Run, Hart! How you dog, you dead beat! How dare you touch Hercules!
By most standards, this film was a failure, grossing only $38,000 but made with a budget of $300,000. Despite the first film being a flop, Arnold got his first big break in 1982 starring in Conan the Barbarian. However, the film almost didn't happen. The first time Arnold met the producer Dino De Laurentiis, he greeted him with an insult, asking the smug producer why a small man needed such a big desk. Perhaps Arnold thought he was being charming, but it came across as arrogant, and Dino kicked him out of his office. The director of the film, John Milius, had a reputation of being crazy on the set, often stating that to get the best out of actors, they had to suffer. So that they did. He made Arnold perform his own stunts. A lot of them left him bleeding. Luckily, Milius liked Arnold. He liked his work ethic and his toughness. He reportedly walked into the producer's office and laid a gun on the table and said, "If Arnold's not Conan, then I'm not the director." The producer finally relented, and the rest was history. Conan was a big hit, and 2 years later, Arnold landed the role of a lifetime as the Terminator. At first, Arnold was reluctant because he didn't want to play a villain. But after reading the script a few times, he started to visualize himself in the role and decided to take a gamble. It was then he became a household name with his well-known catchphrase,
I'll be back.
Enter the 80s, the height of American masculinity.
Hey, scumbag.
Say hello to my little friend!
Gun!
Excuse me a minute. Come on, tough guy.
In the age of big hair, big trucks, and big guns, people couldn't get enough of Arnold. He went on to make several more hits, making him the most marketable actor in this decade. Like in bodybuilding, Arnold had rivalries in Hollywood too, most notably Sylvester Stallone, who had his own string of hits during that era.
I want to ask you a story I heard about Sylvester Stallone. Is it true that you tricked Sylvester Stallone, who is he a friend and a rival, or just a rival?
No. In the 80s, he was just a rival.
Just a rival.
It was just competition. It was all about who is making bigger movies, who has more definition in their muscles, who has more box office success, who kills more people, who kills people more creatively, who has bigger knives, who has bigger guns. And at the end, I started running around with machine guns that were only used for helicopters, mounting on helicopters or on tanks. It was crazy. It was all-out war.
And then Schwarzenegger, I've read that you guys actually hated each other for a while.
Well, we were very competitive. Yeah, I think hate's a good word.
That didn't happen.
No.
They're trying to top each other. So you come out.
I really respect this guy. I think he's brilliant.
Great.
But I wanted to strangle him. You wanted to strangle him? I did.
Well, I mean, yeah. But I mean, you would do Rambo, and then he would do
Commando.
Commando, yeah.
This rivalry lasted nearly 20 years, which they would both later admit that it brought out the best of them. Arnold's career took a major blow in 1993 with the release of The Last Action Hero. Critics hated it, and Arnold felt like a failure. He couldn't believe it. He'd been on top for 20 years. This was his first loss since losing to Sergio on the Olympia stage, but even in that defeat, Arnold used it as motivation to push himself further. For the first time, he looked vulnerable. Terminator director James Cameron said this was the first time he ever seen Arnold sad. It was like seeing a chink in the Terminator's metal exterior. Many Arnold fans saw this not just as a decline of Arnold's reign, but it was the death of an era. The 90s were here and there was no looking back. There were younger action stars on the rise, like Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal, and Bruce Willis. It wasn't just the death of an era and the decline of his career, but Arnold was experiencing health issues that he kept private. He would say later on that he was always raised to never discuss your health, as it would draw pity and be seen as weak. Arnold could no longer ignore his health issues. In 1997, he had a serious wake-up call that resulted in emergency heart surgery. Unfortunately, the surgery was not successful and he had to undergo a second surgery immediately after. But this one worked. Arnold was back, but just a year after that, his mother passed away. Despite the image that Arnold portrayed, losing his mother devastated him. In a candid interview years later, he admitted that most of his ambitions were to make his mother proud. After losing her, he felt lost. All the disappointment and adversity didn't stop him, though. Arnold bounced back and his career hit new heights well into the 2000s, making milestones with the Expendables franchise and the Terminator sequels. It's been estimated that his movies have grossed over $4 billion worldwide. Perhaps losing his mother and his own health scare gave him a glimpse into his own mortality. So Arnold shifted gears. He decided to start helping others. So in 2003, he took on maybe his biggest challenge yet, politics. He was elected the 38th governor of California, serving from 2003 to 2011. During his tenure, he focused on issues like climate change and economic reform. He campaigned for numerous causes, including after-school programs and fitness initiatives for children. This transition showcased his desire to make a difference beyond the silver screen. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a true testament to the power of ambition. From the gym to the stage to Hollywood and even in the political arena, his name will forever be synonymous with perseverance. His success wasn't without adversity. He faced criticism and setbacks in all of his careers. Yet his unwavering resolve propelled him forward, breaking barriers and proving that with hard work and dedication, anything is possible.
The first rule of success is to have a vision. You see, if you don't have a vision of where you go, and if you don't have a goal where you go, you drift around and you never end up anywhere. It's like you can have the best ship in the world, you can have the best airplane in the world. If the pilot or the captain doesn't know where to go, it would just drift around. I was very fortunate that one day after school I walked by a store in Graz, which was called Brühl. And it was the only store that really sold kind of American stuff. And then they had the pool walker. Then they had an expander and some barbells and some dumbbells and an exercise bench in the window. I saw a bodybuilding magazine that had Reg Park on the cover.
So I looked at the cover and I said to myself, I got to get this magazine. So I bought the magazine, I took it home and I read it over and over from the front page to the back. It had everything in there, how he trained. I read that and I said to myself, wow, this is the blueprint for my life. This is exactly what I want to do. I want to become a bodybuilding champion just like Reg Park. I want to get into movies just like Reg Park. Do you know how great it felt that I knew where I was going? Imagine the majority of people don't know where they're going. I knew where I was going, that I'm going to become this bodybuilding champion just like him. So it was just a question of how do you do it? I felt so blessed that I knew what I was doing. So people always ask me, when they saw me in the gym in the pumping iron days, they say, why is it that you're working out so hard? 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day, and you have always a smile on your face. The others are working out just as hard as you do, and they look sour in the face. Why is that? And I told people all the time, I said, because to me, I'm shooting for a goal. In front of me is the Mr. Universe title. So every rep that I do gets me closer to accomplishing that goal, to make this goal, this vision turn into reality. Every single set that I do, every repetition, every weight that I lift will get me a step closer to turn this goal into reality. I couldn't wait for the next exercise, for the next half hour of posing and all the kind of things that you have to do to be a champion. I felt so great knowing where I was going, and I tell you, it worked. I mean, think about it. And at the end, I was just not visualizing just my exercise, but I was really lifting the trophy over my head. That's what I was thinking about. With the age of 20, I went to London and I won the Mr. Universe contest, and it was because I had a goal.